In the Black Hamptons, black folk own 2 miles of beachfront.
You can play the game, but you can't win if you don't know the rules. This town will know what it means to be a Briton.
I don't get so lucky to have a woman like you.
Looks like a beach day. My sister.
We're not neighbors. We just happen to be able to afford the same damn zip code. We are very interested.
That property that's adjacent to my home here? No.
It is also adjacent to our property. And we plan on putting in a pool.
Mother, this is Karen.
Hi.
Is she lost?
She thinks she's better than us.
What we're about to do in this town is bigger than Carolyn Britton.
We have to show the Johnsons that power is much more than just money.
I'm not giving in.
What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl EJ, and I am back with another recap and review. And today we're going to be talking about the BET Plus original limited miniseries called The Black Hamptons. Now let's get into it, y'all. Okay, y'all, so this is a mini-series, so it is going to have 4 episodes total. Now, this was created by Carl Weber. It is based off of his book called The Black Hamptons. There is a Canadian version of this already, and now they have brought it here as an English version as well. Now, this is going to be about 2 families. One, the Britons, they are old money, and then you're going to have the Johnsons, who are new money. And these guys are going to be feuding over property, y'all. And it gets kind of crazy out in the Black Hamptons. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has all this money, all this time, all this energy, and just doing the most. So it is definitely a lot of drama. So if you like drama, then you're probably going to enjoy seeing this mini series. Now, y'all, this show does star Vanessa Bell Caraway, who you probably know from Saints and Sinners. It also stars Lamont Rucker. He's played in a lot of different things, including a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. So definitely has a pretty good cast so far. Your girl Black China is going to be making her appearance as well. I personally haven't seen her play in anything else, so I really don't know a lot about her acting skills, but she is going to be playing in this, as well as your girl Elise Neal. Now, I think they actually have a really good cast of people so far from what I've seen, so we're going to be talking about episode 1, which is entitled Open Season. Now, as a friendly reminder, this is definitely a spoiler review, as this is a review and recap of this entire episode, guys. Now, y'all, when the episode first starts out, it is going to start out with a pool party. Pool party looks like it was going pretty good. Looks like it was pretty crunk. Now, the pool party is being thrown by Jesse. Jesse is going to be the grandson of the character Carolyn Britton, being played by Vanessa Bell Caraway. Now, he is going to meet this young lady who he seems to be intrigued by. The only problem is that her boyfriend gonna show up, and he is not happy at all. Turns out her boyfriend is a Golden Glove winner, or I guess that's what you call it. I don't really know how that boxing thing go, y'all, so don't hold me to that one. But anyway, he got a golden glove and he got a golden fist because he knocked the hell out of Jesse. But anyway, y'all, the police are gonna show up and they're gonna break the party up. And then we're going to be introduced to Sergeant Lane, because he definitely let it be known that he is not an officer because he got all these stripes. Therefore, he is a sergeant, so you need to address him as such. But this is Sergeant Lane, and you can tell that Sergeant Lane is new to the area because he definitely does not know who runs things around this area. So Sergeant Lane is going to arrest your boy Jesse because he's going to find that a young lady that happens to be 17 years old has been served alcohol, and this chick actually tells him who gave her the alcohol. I'm like, dang. He's like, who did you get this alcohol from? Jesse? Really? You couldn't just say, I don't know, I found it. You could have just said anything, but you just straight dry snitch. Really? But anyway, y'all, so he of course is going to arrest Jesse, not knowing who the heck Jesse really is, not knowing who his family is. But as they're getting ready to leave, he's definitely going to run into this family. Now, this is when we're going to meet Miss Carolyn Britton, and she is not to be played with. Now, once again, this is the old money family, and this is the family who has a sense of entitlement and is like, hey, we are here, we have been here, you do not mess with us. You know what I'm saying? They actually own some banks or something like that, is where their money comes from. But yeah, Officer Lane is definitely about to get an earful from Carolyn, who's like, you know, you need to, unhandcuff my grandson, yada, yada, yada. And he's just not trying to hear it. So meanwhile, Martin, who is Carolyn's other son, this is not Jesse's father, but it's Carolyn's other son, and he's calling the sheriff, and he gets him on the line and is like, hey, your boss want to talk to you, you know what I'm saying? And so he gets on the phone with him, and I guess his boss tells him, hey, let him go, and he does. And you can tell that this is going to be the beginning of a situation with these, because I don't think that the sergeant liked being handled like that, because, you know, he is an officer of the law who likes to follow the rules, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think he liked this whole thing where, because these people have power, that they were able to basically, you know, get away from doing what's right. You know what I'm saying? Almost like they were above the law, I guess you would say. So anyway, y'all, moving on, we're going to meet the Johnsons. Now, the Johnsons are the new money family. Now, the Johnsons are making their money from tech. You know what I'm saying? So they are definitely new money, and they're probably going to be much richer than the Brittons when it's all said and done, because Anthony Johnson is no joke, y'all. Like, Anthony Johnson owns 300 patents, and he is just like he is going to be the next biggest thing out there. So he is making these moves, he's making these connections, he's making these deals, and he's going to end up making some partnerships that's definitely going to put them at the forefront. But unfortunately, you know how old money is. Old money don't care about this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, the HOA meeting is going to happen, and this is where things are really going to get fun. You know what I'm saying? Because the Johnsons and the Brittons are going to come, you know, head to head, blow to blow. But before we get into exactly why they got into it, let's double back for a second, because we need to talk about a few other characters real quick, because we are going to meet Carolyn Britton's other son. Now, his name is Malcolm, and he's going to be played by Karan Riley, which you probably know from Saints and Sinners as well. Now, here's the crazy part, is that you know that he definitely has some sort of secret going on, because he's on a yacht in the middle of the ocean with somebody by the name of Morgan. Now, if I had to guess, y'all, I'm going to say that Morgan is a guy, because it just feels like there's going to be some sort of element of surprise. It feels like this family has some secrets, and I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that Morgan is a guy. Now, I personally haven't looked at the second episode yet, so I don't know if this character has showed their face yet, but it's just the way that they presented it makes me feel like Morgan is going to be a guy, and we shall see. So anyway, Malcolm is actually Jesse's father. Okay, yeah, so two other characters that we're going to meet are going to be Jeffrey and Leslie. Now, Jeffrey is a lawyer, and he is married to Leslie. Now, Leslie apparently is a Britton as well. From my understanding, Jeffrey is definitely not, but Jeffrey has been around them for quite some time. I do believe either Jeffrey or his father was the Britton's father's lawyer, so he knows all their secrets, he knows all their business, so he definitely does not do any type of banking business with them, because like I said, this family definitely has some secrets. You know that if it involves a lot of money and a lot of power, that there's some secrets going to be involved. Now, what we are going to find out is that Leslie is a real estate agent, and she knows that a certain property that the Brittons really want is going up for sale. Now, she didn't find this out until the last minute, because that's when her husband told her, because he is the lawyer for who I'm assuming is the Simpsons, because the Simpsons are the family that's selling the land, and they apparently didn't want it to be known until the HOA meeting. Now, we are going to find out at the HOA meeting that supposedly the Brittons and the Simpsons had an agreement that when this land came up, like if they ever decided they were going to leave, that they would be the first people that would know about it, and they would buy the land from them. So it's just a whole big old mess, because now what's going to happen once we get to this HOA meeting, first and foremost, Leslie is going to introduce the sergeant who's going to be, taking over, watching over the Hamptons. And lo and behold, it's going to be good old Sergeant Lane. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to try to flex a little bit, saying that he's going to treat everybody the same. And Carolyn is just going to let him know, hey, this is what you were hired for. And we basically pay you a salary. We just need you to do better and be better. That's what she said in a nutshell. You know what I mean? But anyway, so after, that part, of course, that awkward situation, then comes that land. And when they find out that land is going up for grabs, of course, the new money people are like, hey, we want to buy this land because, we want to build a pool, because that was the attraction of this whole thing, that they always wanted to build a pool. And they went with this property because it was beachfront property. But just like, the Britons want this land, they also want this land because they want to be able to build more onto the land. Now, your girl who Elise Neal is playing, her character's name is Sydney, is not backing down from Carolyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may be new money, but she's like, look, we want this property. So the husband goes in and is like, hey, we're going to pay we'll pay $5 million for it. Or he offers 5.5 million actually. And then the Britons, of course, match it. And Carolyn is like, just shuts it down. It's like, look, don't sell this property. We're not going to do this here right now. We going to handle this later in private. And I'm just like, okay, Carolyn, I see you. So I don't know how this is going to go for Carolyn, because honestly, it just feels like this new money is just, they got a lot of money, like and the potential to make so much more. This is a tech company, for crying out loud. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. Now, anyway, so the meeting ends, and of course, Carolyn is not happy. And so she starts to try to set a plan in motion of what she's going to do next. So she tells Kimberly, who's also part of the family, of course, she's being played by Jennifer Freeman. You probably remember her from The Royal Surprise, and you probably also remember her from My Wife and Kids. She played the character Claire as well. So anyway, y'all, she's gonna get her to look into what Leslie's husband is up to, because he is the lawyer for The Simpsons and he didn't tell his wife till the last minute. So these are all red flags for them. Like, why didn't you tell us about the property? Why weren't we the first to know? So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they have going on as well, because it doesn't really seem like Jeffrey takes no mess from them. And because, either he was the lawyer or his father was the lawyer for the family for so long, he knows all the skeletons, and he's just like, he doesn't want to do business with them because he knows that there's something more underlying going. So anyway, I'm sure we'll start to see all of these secrets kind of come out here, probably starting in the next episode. So meanwhile, y'all, your girl Leslie is going to go ahead and put together a meeting with the Britons and the Johnsons, specifically with Carolyn and with, the wife and husband, Anthony and Sydney. And they're going to sit down and try to, come to a compromise. So Leslie tries to offer them another piece of property that would allow them to be able to build their pool. And Sydney is just not going for it. She's just like, oh, hell no, this is not what we're about to do. She's not backing down from this whole situation. She wants this property. She wants this land, and she doesn't care if they're old money or not. You know what I'm saying? They have the money to be able to live in that neighborhood and to afford that neighborhood. And like she told him, she's like, hey, we're just two people who happen to be able to afford to stay in the same area, but we're not neighbors. We've never been to your house. You've never been to our house, yada, yada, yada. So she makes a good point in actuality. So doesn't look like anything is going to be resolved in this first episode with this property, but your girl Carolyn does take it up one step. She's like, look, hey, she calls over her daughter-in-law, or her ex-daughter-in-law, I guess you want to call it, who was married to Malcolm. Now Malcolm, of course, is Jesse's father, the one who was throwing the party from earlier, the one who I think is messing around with a guy. She calls her over and she's like, hey, I need your help. And she, tells her that she needs her to seduce, this guy. And she's trying to get her to seduce Anthony Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And she wants him vulnerable. She wants her to make him fall in love with her. And I'm just like, girl, this is shady as hell. But I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, this is what people do when they trying to win some land. I mean, this is how these feuds go. So she trying to get it by any means necessary. So she's going to agree to do so in exchange for the fact of being able to rekindle her relationship with Malcolm, because turns out apparently Carolyn is the reason why they are no longer married, even though I suspect that Malcolm is actually low-key on the down low gay, and that's really the reason why they're no longer married. And I think that, that marriage might have just been a front, with the kid and all that type of stuff. But that's just me. I don't know just yet, but I guess we shall see. It's only 4 episodes in this miniseries, so we will definitely find out soon. Okay, y'all, so the last thing that happened on this episode was Malcolm and Martin are going to be having a tennis match with their friend Michael, who is bringing in a new partner. Now, they're going to find out that the new partner is none other than Anthony Johnson. And Michael is also going to tell them, hey, y'all need to stop this feuding. You know what I'm saying? Like, Anthony is a potential partner that you can work with. Like, this is a potential business opportunity, and y'all need to let go of all of this other stuff, because this dude is about to partner with Sin Technology now, and he has the potential to be something like a Google. So like, he's going to be able to buy your bank eventually. So this is somebody that you definitely want to be in business with. So they're listening, but at the same time, this feud is just so ugly, y'all. Like, it's just crazy. So I don't know if they're going to be able to resolve any issues, because Anthony, of course, without an apology from Carolyn, is not willing to do business with them. And I don't think Carolyn's going to be handing out any apologies anytime soon. And lastly, although they were just joking around and playing, and talking noise like people do when they're, playing a sport, the New Money, Anthony, says to Malcolm, he says something like, "Who's your daddy?" after he, gets a really good hit in on him, during the tennis match. And this just triggers Malcolm for some reason. Like, there's something going on with Malcolm about his father. Like, he has some serious father issues, because he shouldn't have gotten this upset to the point where Martin is trying to hold him back. And Michael is like, he has some daddy issues. So, I mean, that was just a trigger for him. So I don't think that this business deal is going to work, even though if they're smart, they make it work. But I just think that right now there's too much tension going on to make this work, y'all. So anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this first episode of The Hamptons. Let me know if you're going to continue to watch it based off of looking at the first episode. Do you think it's going to be drama filled? Do you think that you kind of like this idea of miniseries where a story begins and ends, because in theory, it's sort of like a 4-hour movie kind of, or a little less, 3 hours in something movie in theory. So anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about it. If you've read the book, because I personally have not read the book, then let me know if this is similar to the book, if it's kind of following along with the book or not. Until next time, guys, peace.